24w07a is here, and we're starting this video inside of a swamp. That is because there is a brand new mob inside of this snapshot for the Minecraft 1.21 update. This mob is the Bogged. Although the name is really cool, it is a new variant to the skeleton. It's a skeleton that will spawn inside of the swamp and the mangrove swamp. It dies during the day and it will seek out water. It does also have a little red mushroom in its hat. That's really cool. Is there a chance that can be brown, or is it always going to be red? Oh, okay, wait. So it has brown on one side, red on the other. That's really cool. Let's quickly sell it to nighttime so we can get a better look at this mob. It looks awesome. I love it. It's got a load of moss on it. It also looks like its like skin or bones is ruined. And it also does have some mushrooms growing out. Now this mob will spawn within the swamp and the mangrove swamp, and also within trial chambers. When it shoots the player, it will shoot poison arrows, so it's more dangerous than the normal skeleton, although it will shoot a lot slower than the normal skeleton will. If I go in survival mode, you'll see that when it hits me, it does 2 hearts and then also poisons me. I'm currently playing in normal mode. And when it hits you, you get poisoned for about 4 or 5 seconds, so it's not too much. They will also fight each other if they hit each other, just like normal skeletons. You can see they are fighting. They do also have sound effects that are different to the skeleton, but not like too different. They just have like a slight splush to them. Now inside of trial chambers, they won't spawn in every single trial chamber. They replace the poison skeletons. So the poison skeletons are the spawners that have the mushroom and bone blocks around them. These are cave spiders, so they're not the ones we want. So having a look around, I don't think this trial chamber has poison skeletons, as it seems like it just has normal skeletons. This one does have poison skeletons. The poison skeletons is shown off by the mushrooms and also the bone blocks. If I go in survival mode, you will see that it will spawn some of the bogs. And when you kill these, they have the same loot table as the skeletons, I believe, apart from they have a chance to drop poison arrows when killed by the player. It does also seem like they drop normal arrows, so I'm guessing the poison arrows is a bonus on top, just like strays, and it is. Although the poison arrows are not common, and it's poison for 5 seconds. So that's where you can find them within trial chambers. And inside of mangrove swamps and swamps, they'll just spawn of a nighttime. So if we locate ourselves a mangrove swamp, and it's currently nighttime, so we should be good to head there. So we're currently at a mangrove swamp and a swamp, and you should be able to see that the Bogged will spawn here. It seems like normal skeletons do also still spawn. They haven't been completely disabled from spawning inside of these 2 biomes, but we should see this mob as well. And I haven't seen any currently. This is like the worst mangrove swamp and swamp because it's so small. But the reason I've come to a different one is because I don't want the other swamp. Okay, there's a bigger swamp over here. I don't want where we spawn them because then that's not showing them spawning naturally. So I guess if we fly around here a little bit, we should eventually see some that spawn. It seems like they are not like extremely common. There's a lot of normal skeletons. There's also more normal skeletons over in that direction. Okay, we have found one. So this one has just spawned on its own with no others around it. So it seems like they are kind of rare. They don't seem to be like extremely common. I definitely do think they need to make them a little bit more common. But I guess it's good that they're rare because they do shoot poison arrows, and early game traversing through a swamp, if they were absolutely everywhere, that'd make traversing through swamps a lot harder. I've flown across this whole swamp and I've only found the one that has spawned naturally. But I guess it could also be luck. You could travel into a swamp and get a load of them. It just depends on the weight and what other mobs have spawned nearby. I've also just found another 2 right here. I haven't been able to look into the code at what requirements they have for spawning, but I imagine you'd be able to make a farm for them where only they would be able to spawn. And then you can farm poison arrows, although poison arrows are not really that useful inside of survival mode. So now we've talked about spawning, let's talk a little bit more about how they work, because they work a little bit differently to skeletons and strays. First of all, they have 16 health, apart from the skeleton, which has 20. So they have 4 less hearts. They do also attack slower. The normal skeleton attacks with 1 shot every 2 seconds, whereas the Bogged will attack 1 shot every 3.5 seconds. Now that may not seem like that much of a difference, but to dodge them, it is a big difference. They also do burn in a day, so if it's daytime and these have spawned and you go near them, they will start to burn and they will seek out shelter or water to stop burning. One test we can do, skeletons will freeze to turn into strays. Will these freeze to turn into anything? Because if you have like a husk and that drowns, that will drown into a zombie and then it will turn into a drowned. So let's see, maybe these turn into skeletons and then from skeletons into strays. And it don't seem like they freeze into anything. It just died when it froze. Jumping away from the bogged for a split second, hoppers have been adjusted once again to make it so they can still pick up items through bee nests and beehives. This was because some farms required a hopper to be below to pick up the items inside of it, and it would pick up the honey and things like that before it got shot out. So they've now been changed to still pick up items through them two blocks, but any other solid block and it will still block the item from being picked up in. But it won't pick up an item that is above, it's only inside the beehives. And let's see if they have fixed the hopper minecart bug. They have, so hopper minecarts can now pick up items above solid blocks. They have added a tag for does not block hoppers, and this is for blocks that are above it, if it will block a hopper from picking up items or not. Currently inside of this is just the beehives and bee's nest, so if you want to adjust this tag for maps or data packs, you can also do so. And then they have added a gameplay panda sneeze loot table for when pandas sneeze and they produce a drop. Currently all that's in that loot table is a slime ball, but you can now add to that if you want pandas to be able to sneeze up a diamond on the rare occasion or something like that. A bug fix is wind charges wouldn't go through non-solid blocks, so things like vines, they can now go straight through these vines and they won't collide or they won't explode until they collide with a solid block. This is also the case for things like sugarcane. So if you was to have like sugarcane in the way, it will now go straight through it as it's not classed as a solid block. And the final bug that I'm going to point out is breezes could be damaged by wind charges. So if you was to throw a wind charge at the breeze, it would damage it, but now they just bounce off. And one thing to note, this could be used for some kind of farm, because when they deflect off the breeze, they go a lot slower than if you was to throw them. That's kind of a cool mechanic, I guess. Look at the speed difference. But that's all the bug fixes and changes within this update. It's quite a small one, apart from the new skeleton. And apart from it being just, once again, a retexture, I think it's kind of cool. It's just like the stray or the drowned, where it works pretty much the same as the skeleton apart from a few minor tweaks. Well, that is it for this snapshot. There isn't really much else to say about the bogged. If we have a look at its data, I want to get the data of one that isn't burning. Apart from the health and the shooting decrease, there's no like hidden stored data. But anyway, if you enjoyed, do like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. It's cool that we're getting more hostile mobs. I think Minecraft definitely does need more hostile mobs to make the game a little bit harder. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.